Hi everyone, and welcome back to What the Fun English, the place where we learn real English through curious stories and fun conversations.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma.
And this is What the Fun English.
Today's episode of our series, Wait, What's Going On Here, is full of mystery and danger because we're talking about the magician who escaped everything, Harry Houdini.
Houdini. It's such a foundational story, really, for modern entertainment. When we talk about Houdini, we're not just talking about a performer. We're looking at the guy who pretty much taught the world how to make danger look entertaining.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack exactly what made his, spectacular show so irresistible back then, a century ago, and maybe more importantly, how those exact ideas are still, the backbone of Hollywood action movies today.
Exactly. It all starts with that key figure, the magician.
Okay, let's define that first.
Yeah, good idea. So a magician is basically a person who does tricks to surprise or entertain people. Simple as that. They create those moments that make you gasp and think, wait, how on earth did they do that?
And Houdini was just the ultimate master of creating that feeling, wasn't he? He took simple tricks and turned them into this high-stakes art form, all focused on one thing, the escape.
Absolutely. So let's dive into this master of escape. He was born Erich Weiss in Hungary way back in 1874, grew up in the U.S., and he spent his early years doing kind of small-scale stage magic. But his fame really took off when he shifted his focus.
Shifted how?
He realized people didn't just want to be fooled, they wanted to see him struggle. They wanted to see the effort, the risk.
We wanted danger.
Precisely. That became his brand. His acts turned into these intense tests of physical and mental endurance, escaping handcuffs, chains, police shackles, even these heavy custom-made lock boxes.
Okay, but handcuffs and chains sound maybe manageable. What made it really dangerous?
Right, good question, because that's only half the story. The real selling point was the extreme danger he put himself in.
Okay, give us an example, something really nail-biting.
Okay, well, take the famous milk can escape. This was a total showstopper. Houdini would be locked inside this giant metal milk can.
Like an old-fashioned milk churn.
Exactly, but bigger. Galvanized steel. And then it would be filled completely with water.
Oh, wow.
And the lid secured with 6 huge padlocks, all in full view of the audience.
That sounds absolutely terrifying. Locked, underwater, running out of air?
Exactly. That was the whole point of the performance. And remember, a performance is just a live show people watch. The point was, this was highly dangerous. If he messed up, if he couldn't open the locks fast enough, or if he panicked, he'd drown.
Did he actually say that?
Oh, yeah. He even advertised it with the line, failure means a drowning death. Talk about high stakes.
Wow, that's some serious marketing. So the audience wasn't just buying a ticket, they were buying suspense. The thrill of watching potential tragedy just barely avoided.
Totally. They love seeing him risk his life and then showing immense courage pop up smiling at the last second.
That courage must have been a huge part of the appeal.
Huge. And the presentation, too. He'd always invite local police or locksmiths on stage to check the chains, the locks, prove everything was real, legit. That transparency just made the escape seem even more impossible.
So he wasn't hiding the danger, he was leaning into it, highlighting it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And if the milk can wasn't enough, then came the Chinese water torture cell. Probably his most famous, most elaborate escape.
Is that the one where he's lowered in upside down? I've seen pictures, they look insane.
That's the one. Suspended by his ankles, locked upside down inside this narrow glass-fronted cabinet filled with water. The tension was just unbearable because the audience could see his face right there through the glass.
Yeah.
They could watch the minutes tick by while he fought to get out.
Ugh, I can't even imagine. The breath control, the strength. It just looks like pure magic when you see those old clips.
Which makes you wonder, right? What was the secret? What was the actual trick?
And that brings us perfectly to the next key idea. The illusion.
Okay, let's define that one too for everyone listening. Right. So an illusion is basically something that looks real, but, well, it isn't. When a magician does a trick, they're creating an illusion, making something seem impossible. They're playing with your perception, but it's not, supernatural powers.
That's unbelievable. But hold on. If it was all down to, specialized gear and incredible physical skill, why did he perform alongside people claiming to read minds or talk to ghosts? Wasn't part of his trick kind of pretending it might be magic?
That is such a brilliant question, and it gets right to the heart of what Houdini taught the world. He was actually really clear about this. His shows were not about magic in that supernatural sense.
Really?
Yeah, especially later in life. Mm-hmm. He spent a ton of time and energy exposing fake psychics and spiritualists. Mm-hmm. He really hated the idea of people being fooled by claims of, talking to the dead or whatever.
So he's the master of illusion, but he's saying, don't call me a mystic. What was his real secret then, if not a magic spell?
The secret wasn't a spell. It was skill. Incredible skill. Practice, relentless practice, and just intense focus. He was an expert locksmith. Spent years figuring out how locks work.
Okay.
He trained his body like an athlete to handle extreme conditions, like holding his breath for crazy long times. So what looks like magic, it's actually just immense hard work, clever engineering, and serious mental toughness, courage.
Wow, okay. That completely changes how you see his whole performance, doesn't it? It's not just entertainment. It's like a demonstration of insane human potential.
Yeah.
Focused effort made into a spectacle.
Exactly. A spectacle of preparation and mastery. And that dedication, that's the bridge to modern action movies. The principles he used on stage, they're the same ones used on screen today.
Okay, this is fascinating. But before we jump into Hollywood blockbusters, just a quick reminder for everyone listening, don't forget to subscribe to What the Fun English and maybe share this with your friends if you're enjoying it.
Right. So moving from the dusty theater stage to the big cinema screen, we find that Hollywood action culture, it's basically built on the same foundations Houdini laid down. The aim is always to create that intense suspense, highlight the danger, and most importantly, master the illusion.
And you see it today, right? The biggest action stars, the ones who really pull in the crowds, they're the ones who seem to be risking the most. Like, for real.
Think about someone like Tom Cruise. It's a perfect example. When he's actually climbing the outside of the Burj Khalifa or, flying a real jet in some crazy maneuver.
Yeah.
He's channeling that Houdini spirit. He's putting his actual physical body, his real life training, right there on display to sell the illusion of effortless danger.
Yeah, the principle feels identical. Make the impossible look totally real. We watch those stunt performers or actors doing their own stunts partly because we know the danger is real, even if the final shot is a super clever illusion to make it look safe.
And it goes beyond just the actors. This whole approach directly influenced the technical side of filmmaking. Houdini wasn't just a performer. People called him the first movie star of illusion. His acts were naturally cinematic, full of quick changes, dramatic reveals, perfect timing.
So he basically gave filmmakers a blueprint for action sequences.
You could definitely say that. The film industry looked at his performances and thought, okay, how do we recreate that feeling, that impossible escape, that daring? And that pushed the development of camera tricks, special effects, all that stuff.
That's really cool. So things like early forced perspective, or those clever editing cuts where an actor seems to jump off a building, but the camera cuts just before they land safely on, like an airbag. That's a direct descendant of Houdini's stagecraft.
Precisely. The edit itself is an illusion, right? It manipulates time and space, just like Houdini quickly swapping shackles behind a curtain. Camera tricks boost that sense of impossible action. They sell the danger while keeping people safe, just like Houdini's hidden mechanics let him cheat death every night.
So whether it's CGI making a superhero fly or a stunt person doing a really dangerous practical move, the end goal is the same. Creating these incredible performances takes skill, focus, technical wizardry. It's not just some hidden secret or simple trick.
Exactly. It's the effort, the training, the dedication to mastering something incredibly difficult. That's what makes the magic happen on screen or on stage. That's really Houdini's lasting legacy, I think.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of those key English words we explored. We talked about the magician,
who performs a trick,
which creates an illusion. Houdini's shows were this amazing performance,
full of very real danger,
requiring intense courage
to successfully escape.
Yeah.
It's a great set of words for talking about entertainment.
Definitely. And we'll leave you with a final thought, kind of linking back to Houdini's whole philosophy. Do you believe in magic or just hard work?
Something to think about.
Thanks for listening to What the Fun English. Keep your English curious and your mind full of wonder.